here we have a story of a young athlete, came out of high school as the number one recruit in the nation, went on to college as one of the most highly sought after athletes on the planet, and he has lived up to expectations. This man is a phenomenal football player and has won the Heisman Trophy in the college ranks, and now going to the NFL as a top pick, maybe the second or maybe the first pick in the draft. Now, I happen to follow Travis Hunter and have been following his channels. If he has more than one, I'm not even sure anymore. But anything Travis Hunter, I usually follow it because he's an interesting guy. And I always thought of him as a really good guy, really smart, um, acting young man. He carries himself in a really intelligent and mature way. Uh, but naturally, wherever there's a lot of money, there are going to be there going to be a lot of people speculating about how to get it, what the outcome of things will be. And so going in, Travis Hunter, he commanded a lot of attention. He's commanded a lot of attention since he's become an athlete, and he's very good. Him and this girlfriend that everybody's talking about, they came together in a sort of strange way. I think a lot of people's issue is with the fact that um, Travis Hunter was not his girlfriend's type at first. She didn't think, which I don't feel that's unusual. A lot of times that happens, and sometimes women can not like you at first, and then find good qualities about you to be appealing and can change their viewpoint. That's anybody. That's men and women. You know, um, and it doesn't mean that just because a person isn't your type at first, you won't have a good relationship together. In fact, oftentimes, if you can break through that barrier and get past that, you oftentimes can find something more meaningful than the shallow um, surface stuff, such as looks and beauty. Now, mind you, Travis Hunter's girlfriend does not lack in that department. She's a very attractive looking young lady. Now, I've heard people talk, you know, unfavorably about Travis Hunter's physical appearance, you know, um, and that I think could be what's causing so much of a disturbance. People can't believe sometimes when you're not really attractive that you can attract a really good looking woman. But I beg to differ. As a man, I learned that in high school and in grade school, or whatever you want to call it, as a teenager and as a child, looks were very important, and you couldn't really get a good girl without looking good. But as you become a man and you move up in the ranks of manhood, I think it becomes obvious to most adults, men and women, that looks are not all that matters. And when it comes to a man and what women want from a man, the women want characteristics that they can depend on, that they can follow, that they can that they can go through life and benefit from. And looks, I mean, though you can get caught up in them, they aren't necessarily that useful in life unless that's your business, such as you're a model or something like that. Um, but for the most part, men don't really need looks like like they do as boys, maybe. Um, Girls care about what guys look like. Women, they admire what guys look like, but they care more about what guys are like. And I think Travis Hunter has a lot to offer in terms of how he carries himself as a man. And I think the woman that he's chosen reflects that, in my opinion. Now, rumors are what rumors are. They're always going to be rumors, and most of the time, you don't get a whole lot of good rumors going around. a good rumor dies out quickly. A bad rumor just goes on and on and on, and then it morphs into different rumors, and it just multiplies into, you know, chaos. And so that's what I think is going on right now. Um, and I think that the rumors about what Travis Hunter's girlfriend really thinks of him is causing people to um, the rumors are causing people to question whether this young man is setting himself up for a failure, because everybody that has the internet or any brand of television or any knowledge of what's going on in the United States knows that this man is about to get paid. I mean, tremendously paid. And oftentimes, we run into situations where we feel like women care more about the money a man is making than they care about the man himself, which sometimes is true. Back to those things that I talked about, being dependable. And women know that it's going to take money to take care of their needs. And if you impregnate them and cause them to carry your children, or you're blessed enough to have them carry your children, then you will need some money. And it's really easy for a woman to make a decision sometimes when the money is plentiful. That takes a lot of the worration, so to speak, off the table for a woman. So I don't really hold women at fault for that. I don't think that women are necessarily bad people because they want to make sure that the man that they choose to procreate with and build a family with is uh, stable financially. In fact, my experience in life is that if you don't secure the bag, so to speak, as a man, then you could have a whole lot of problems awaiting you if you go and start building a family without having that part of your life together. So, um, so maybe people are right in the sense that she is looking at him for his money, but from my observation of those two, they seem to have had a really good time together before money really came Travis's way. Now, I'm pretty sure he's been getting paid maybe even before he got to college, but because he's a really good athlete, and a lot of times athletes just attract money, especially if people think that they're going to be able to make money off of you in the future. So I'm not sure about his money prior to their relationship, but it did seem like to me early on they had a genuine connection, um, and that it really was about more than the money um, for them. And one of the things that stood out to me about Travis Hunter's um, girlfriend was that, you know, she always encouraged him to think about more than just football. That was one of the things that stood out to me about her. She always encouraged him to think about um, the possibility of him not, achieving his goals in football, and to make sure that he got a good education, and to make sure that, he planned his life out outside of football. And I thought that was a really pivotal moment. That was a key moment for me watching their, relationship as a fan of Travis Hunter's. And even I became honestly a fan of their relationship. But one of the things that really touched my heart about her was the fact that she was always trying to make sure he considered that the possibility that this may not all work out the way people expect it to. Now, she was always encouraging. She wasn't a doubtful type person that I could tell. She seemed to be coming from a really good place with her thought process. She was basically always encouraging him to do the right thing get his education. That was her main influence. Um, well, that was the main influence that stood out to me, that she was always about him making sure he took care of his education, make sure he took care of himself, because he could go out there and get hurt. And at any point, all of that hopeful future could change. And for her to have positioned herself in their relationship that way, that said a lot to me about who she really was and what she really wanted from him. And I think she has, in my opinion, grown to love Travis Hunter. And honestly, though Travis Hunter may not be anybody's choice of model, or maybe Travis Hunter isn't what anybody would consider a model. However, he is a model citizen, and he is somebody that you could really, really appreciate. You know, Travis Hunter is truly more than just a good football player. I think he's as good a person as he is a football player. You know, I mean, a lot of people are thinking crazy about these two, but I don't know what the latest scenario of them happens to be. But when I last saw them on YouTube, they were together, and I don't even think they were having sex, man. I think they were living together, and I don't even think they were having sex. How many people can you say have that kind of discipline and self-control, and it shows a lot about your intentions. For him to want more out of their relationship than sex, and for her to want more out of their relationship than sex, it just really impressed me a lot that these two young people who have everything to gain and everything to offer in their own rights are not taking advantage of the opportunity for them to skip steps and build a relationship what I consider to be the hard way, which is building it sex first, you know, building everything on top of sex and trying to fit life in around sex, when sometimes it really puts you in a bad situation when you've already built things before you know how they should be built. And that happens to a lot of young people. And I think that's what a lot of people's fear around the country is. You know, we know how we live. We know how we are in our relationships. And we go out here and we put the cart before the horse. And we end up, um, you know, in these compromised situations with somebody when we find out that they're not who we really thought they were, not really who we need to be with. But now we've already made a decision to be with them, and now we got to go and backtrack and undo all of this stuff. And you know, I hope that they've maintained um, that position. Um, but I don't know that they have. I just know that when I first started watching them, that was another pivotal point for me, when I recognized that they weren't even having sex, and that they were just happy to hang out together. They were living together. They were really building their futures together. And now that, you know, the spotlight is really on Travis because he has accomplished the goals that everybody thought he might, and now it's time for his payday. Now, mind you, Travis probably has made millions already. I'm just speculating. I have, you know, allegedly. I have no way of knowing what this man is really doing. I'm just a YouTube fan of his, and I'm just speaking out today on my channel because, you know, I have an opinion, and I think there's something to learn from this opinion. And now, my ultimate opinion is of them that there may be more to them than meets the eye. You know, they have they have been going about their lives in a very unorthodox way, meaning they didn't travel the path of most of their peers in their youth. They both seem to care about what's important, far beyond their years. They're both mature beyond their years, and Um, you know, okay, so the rumors are that she's out here complaining about, weird stuff that only a person who really doesn't care about you would be complaining about. Travis Hunter is getting a lot of attention. She seems to not be able to stand the spotlight in people's eyes. She seems to not be responding to his success the way a person who really is happy for him is responding. Um, and she seems to be, just really questionable. Now, my opinion, I personally think that consistent with how they have been throughout their relationships thus far, everything they've done has been out of the box, unordinary, different. So she may be one of these types of, ladies that doesn't really respond well to superficial things. Maybe this isn't the life she finds, you know, um, comfortable for her. Maybe being out in the spotlight is uncomfortable, and that may be a good thing. And that's why I'm making this video, to put a different idea and a different spin on this. Maybe it's a good thing that she's not all crazy over, the world just bowing at, her boyfriend's feet. Maybe that's why they were so conservative in their approach to their relationship and their lives, because maybe she was always encouraging him to keep his eye on the true prize, which is, making sure you secure your education, making sure you have a life in case football doesn't pan out the way you want. Only people who care about you talk like that. A woman that's after your money and doesn't care about anything but your money, she's not going to be talking you down from being, focused on the bag, getting the bag. And she's not going to be uncomfortable in the spotlight. She's going to be soaking it up. So my thinking is this: Travis Hunter and his girlfriend may just be the real thing. They may have what it takes to succeed. Oftentimes, when it looks like it's going to work out, that's when you got to worry. And oftentimes when it seems a little rocky in the beginning, but there's something deeper that's important to the people involved, it goes farther. So I will say this to the world in regards to Travis Hunter, and on behalf of him and his lady. What if this, after we have time, after years go by, we're 3, 4, 5 years down the road. What if we look back and see that it worked out for them? What if we see that she was really sincere about her love for Travis Hunter? What if he's not making a mistake? What if this all works out? There are going to be a lot of people that are going to be wrong about um, their prediction. And I wonder if people are going to come out with the same vigor that they're coming out now to threaten that the future is not going to be bright for them. I wonder if everything goes right down the road, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, and, she's still there like LeBron's girl, like LeBron's wife. I wonder if people are going to admit that they were wrong. And I wonder if they're going to be all over the internet saying how good she really is. I don't know that she is. I can't make that prediction. Some of the rumors I've heard have made me question, whether what I think about them is true. However, I can admit that I don't know. And I have to say, I've been hurt before, and I found someone that I connect with well enough to marry. And honestly, there were people around us that didn't think we were going to make it, and we're still here after 10 years, and are just really hitting our stride, because like them, we didn't put the cart before the horse, meaning we didn't do things traditionally either. We didn't date and all of that. we became friends first, and we date now, you know. And I always wanted to be in a relationship that got better over time, as opposed to a relationship that started at the top. You got everything you wanted in the beginning, then all of a sudden 10 years, 20 years down the road, you get none of what you wanted. So I think that we have to reserve our judgment of them and give it time. And I think one thing's for sure, the internet, they better be right, because if it turns out that Travis Hunter and this lady works out and they go on to have a solid family and a good life, it's going to be a lot of egg on people's faces. And I'm just saying, I'm going to be searching the internet looking for these same characters that are out here, you know, dragging them before they even get a chance to see what's going to happen. Now, I do admit, in defense of the internet and the people, some of the people actually are afraid that he might get hurt. And it looks painfully obvious that, you know, it could be likely, and it may. And I'll come back on here and say, you know, hey, what the deal is this. If it doesn't work out, I'll be the first to say, hey, the people were right. Sometimes you got to look at things the way people look at them and the normal way to do it. But as it stands now, I'm betting on Travis Hunter and this girl to work out, because I think it started out the right way, and there's at least a 50-50 chance that it'll work out. So while everybody else is predicting that it'll fail, here on out of the box, we're going to predict the opposite, and we'll see. All right. If you got any value out of this video, please like, share, and subscribe. We'd love to have you check out our next video. All right. Peace.